Hi guys, Austin here with Outer World Media. Welcome back to another weekly update, guys. This time we are talking, as always, what am I reading? What am I going to read? What have I read? So let's kick it off, guys, with, if you noticed again, we got to change the scenery. Hopefully you notice the last couple videos I've posted a little bit of change with quality of the camera and whatnot. I'm starting to do these videos on a laptop now. Sorry, I can't speak, on a laptop, so I can, try to edit the videos just a little bit. I still want to keep it non-edited as much as I can, but just so this way, I can take y'all on the go and whatnot if I'm staying somewhere and I can still do this. But let's start off, guys, with what did I read, because it's been a couple weeks since I've done one of these weekly updates. We had, my wife had some family in last weekend from out of town and out of state, which here in the state of Texas, if they're out of town or out of state, might as well be the same, because if you're driving from West Texas to East Texas, it takes just as long as what you expect to drive from Oklahoma to Nebraska or something. Just takes as long, it feels like. But let's get into this, guys. Y'all don't want to hear about traveling distances in the state of Texas. So let's start off. I'm gonna pull the stack over here. I had 5 books that I read over the last 2 weeks, and which is gonna sound like quite a few until you see the size of 4 out of these 5, or really all of them. We're gonna start off with the worst one that I feel like I read, and I'm not gonna say a whole lot about this, just because I don't want to bash the book or make it seem like I'm bashing the book. I didn't enjoy it, but that still should not keep y'all from reading it. It is a classic. I did pick up and I read The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. This was not at all what I was expecting it to be, which was not a good thing. I had an itch of wanting to read something scary, something horror related, and it didn't scratch that itch. In all honesty, I kind of just found myself hate reading it, even though it's 70 something pages. It took me a few days to read it. I have nothing against classic books. I want to read some more classic books. I feel like I haven't read enough, but yeah, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde was not what I was expecting it to be, unfortunately. But you know what? Again, don't let my opinion keep you from reading these books. I would hope y'all. I'm gonna say this. I know it's probably gonna rub some people the wrong way. Don't ever let anybody that talks or does these reviews tell you not to go read a book. We're people just like y'all. There's times that y'all will like a book that I may not, and I may like a book that y'all may not. So as always, go read it. Don't take what the people behind the camera say, or in front of the camera, I should say, as law. Next, I did read 4 Louis L'Amour books, guys. I feel like I blew through quite a few of them. I felt like I blew through more than this, but I read High Lonesome. I read uh, Under the Sweetwater Rim, The Tall Stranger, and Radigan. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, when I was reading this book, and I forgot to say it in the review, every time I would read that name, I would think of the old Disney, the Great Mouse Detective. The character that Vincent Price played, Radigan. That's what I kept thinking. I had to chuckle to myself every time I read that. But again, guys, read 4 of his books. As always, I enjoy reading my Louis L'Amour books. I will say though, by the time I got to where is it, to Radigan, it took me about 3 or 4 days. I was flying through these two of these in a day or so apart. Radigan took me about 3 or 4 days to read. So I think I'm not getting burned out, but I think I'm gonna kind of pump the brakes a little bit on reading some Western books and switch it up. So let's get into, what am I still reading? Well, I'm still working on An Obvious Fact by Mr. Craig Johnson. I'm not saying this book's bad by any means. I'm only about 40 pages into it. I've had the wanting to read Western books so much. So I'm just kind of picking this up, reading a chapter here or there. And whatnot. I will say, we have a week and a half left of the month of July. I swear, guys, this year is seriously just flying by. I am going to say I'm probably not going to read the 13th and 14th book this month. I'm going to try just to finish this. And again, I don't want anybody thinking that, I'm not enjoying this book or that it's bad or anything. Don't think that by any means. It's a Longmire mystery book. They're all awesome. Again, I feel and have a desire to read Western books, but like I said, getting a little, burned out, I feel like, so I'm pumping the brakes on that, like I said. So I did order a book. We're coming up into spooky season. August 1st starts when my wife will let me decorate for Halloween. If you can't tell, I absolutely love Halloween. I mean, seriously, guys, I love the holiday of Halloween. So August 1st is when my wife will let me, decorate our house for that. So I tried to letting her, you know, do it a little early this year. She said no. So with us being so close, and I cannot keep I can't keep myself from wanting to watch scary movies and whatnot when we get to that time of the year. I did buy a new book and it's coming in the mail today, and it's one that I am so excited for. I've told y'all about this author a few times, but I did pick up I Was a Teenage Slasher by Mr. Stephen Graham Jones. I have heard nothing but great things about this book. I am so excited to read it. It is coming in today. As soon as it gets in, I'm ripping the package apart from Amazon, grabbing the book and reading it. The only complaint I had, they don't seem to have it in my local Barnes and Nobles, and I don't know why. Target, Walmart, Barnes and Nobles, Second Charles. Nobody seems to carry his books, and it's a crime. It really is. I feel like this guy is a modern day Stephen King. As far as just pumping out some great books back to back to back. So again, I am going to be picking up that today. So my goal this week, is to try and finish that book, as well as possibly an obvious fact, get as far into this as I can. If I feel the need to read a Western, because I know I'm probably going to, I have a few books lined up, just in case. We are going to the Fort Worth, Dallas area this weekend to visit some family and some friends. So I'm not sure how much reading I'll get done this weekend coming up. That's generally Saturday's my big day that I pump out as much reading as I can, as well as Sunday. All just depends after church. But like I said, I have a few Louis L'Amour books lined up. I have Flint by Louis L'Amour, The Man from Skibbereen, and The High Graders. Again, if I finish one of those other books, or I just feel the need to read a Western book, I'm going to pick up one of those three more than likely. But again, guys, that's going to be it for this weekly update. As far as reading goes, I'm going to go now into what I'm going to call like the movie, TV, whatever you want to call it, section, just because I feel like I need to talk more about movies. Like I've said before, I did go with my wife. If you saw my post, I did go with my wife to our local drive-in here in town. We did go see the new Twisters movie. I will say my wife enjoyed it a lot. I not so much. If you guys want to see, an in-depth review of that, let me know in the comments. I'd love to. Even though I didn't like the movie, I'd love to give y'all a review and my honest thoughts on it. Maybe get my wife to give y'all her thoughts. I'm not sure. I'm trying to work something out with her. Maybe come, October, watch a horror movie or something and us review it and have her give y'all her thoughts. Just because she doesn't do scary movies that much, guys. Like I said, guys, I'm seriously, I'm in the mood. I'm ready for Halloween. It can't get here quick enough. But again, guys, that is going to be it for this weekly update. I hope y'all, are having a good week, or going to start off, this next week having a good one. I hope y'all are reading quite a bit of books and whatnot. Let me know down in the comments what y'all are reading. And as always, I do appreciate every single one of you that stops by and watches these videos. Even if you jump around, you watch it from front to, back or what have you. Again, I do appreciate every single one of y'all. Have a good one.